I'm broke the boss, I flip the script. Super Trucker Podcast got me fully equipped. Left the noise behind, now I'm stacking green. Voyager Nation make me live the dream.
Do you even know what you're hauling?
Well, that's a basic question that every DOT officer is asking, but can you even answer that? A lot of drivers used to be very, very quick saying, I don't speak no English.
Or I don't know.
Or I don't know. Now, both of those answers are going to work against you.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, man, like for real, all jokes aside, like you should know.
You should know.
You should definitely know because it's important.
Yes, because at the end of the day, it is your driving record, it is your responsibility. Any cargo that you sign for on the bill of lading, legally yours for a time of transit. So you cannot be negligent. This will require, like just that English proficiency thing, will require drivers to get a lot more involved.
Yeah, so I don't think you're gonna have to know the serial number and model of what you have, but a good idea of what's on your what's on the BOL or what's on the Raycon.
Yeah, and that's at the end of the day, that's gonna help to avoid a lot of problems. Like one example that I always use is car batteries, right? Because technically batteries are non-hazmat until something happens. Once something happens, all of a sudden it is hazmat. So a lot of carriers learned that lesson very painfully. Others not so painfully. Some people lost businesses.
Yeah.
Just because of that. And a lot of brokers, when we say that it's batteries, not going to be able to find a carrier that's going to haul it. So we become slick about it.
Yeah, they start to label it
auto parts and anything but not the batteries. Like probably if I would ever started collecting the names that we use for batteries, that would be a very, very long list.
And in a lot of warehouses now, you can't even go inside. So that's even worse.
Yes. And like in our case, for example, we do not hold batteries. We state that. We inform every customer, every broker about the commodities that we do not hold. And we're still trying to be slick here and there and to load us up with batteries. So now it becomes a problem. If something becomes a problem, obviously. Because if it's not, okay, just a company policy, which is also should not be violated. However, if nothing happens, technically you're still in the legal.
Yes, but that was just a chance.
Yes, just because you got lucky.
Yeah.
But what if you wouldn't get lucky? Now all of a sudden you're in this bad situation as disqualified driver because you have no hazmat, because something a little bit happened about that load. And now everything is being re-qualified into this big hazmat situation out of nothing. And now that's your record, that's your everything. So I think in any time I had anything to do with situations like this, the number one thing that every driver always says, I'm just a driver.
Yeah, but it's listed on that BOL as you're getting it to sign at the shipper. There's signs of hazmat, usually the X's, and they'll hide it into there, and you have to check that as a driver. That's a responsibility.
Yes. So now, and again, I'm not saying it's necessarily language related. I think it's cultural related.
It's a complaciveness.
It's complaciveness because if we're talking about safety. If we're saying, that English proficiency is a safety item, which I agree, it is. Now, let's truly be safety conscious.
And make sure that everything is getting done.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, that, I'm just a driver, is not necessarily really going to fly that well anymore.
Nah, yeah, but I mean, it's like, I don't know, man, shit rolls downhill because at the same time, where's the account? And I'm probably going off on the tangent, but like, where's the accountability for the people that lied about what the product is?
Nobody cares because you signed and it's yours, and the law is the law, and that's what's up. So it's not fair, man.
Yeah,
it's not fair. So every time we can talk about fairness forever. but the life is not fair.
Nah, yeah. My dad told me go get my money back.
And I understand all that because it's it's not fair. It's not.
But what I'm just saying is, like, if we're tackling safety stuff, right? These things are what matters on safety.
Of course,
there should be some penalties for that as well.
And I think eventually, if our industry is smart enough, most likely we're not. Most likely we're just gonna fucking eat it up. And we're gonna carry all the responsibility until the end of days, and we're never gonna change for the betterment of drivers' situation. Because, for example, when the ELD went into effect, right, and when the drivers were getting stuck at the dock door because we're out of hours, remember how quickly that changed?
Yeah, because enough of them complained.
Because the big dogs now, the big shippers, the manufacturers are now complaining, and all of a sudden, the rules are changed. But not for drivers' improvement.
For their improvement.
For their improvement. So now, with all this, English proficiency and stuff like that, you guys have to keep everyone accountable. So, for example, if you go to the warehouse and, everybody there speaks some language that's not English, I think that should be also discussed to keep everyone accountable. Because if you're not going to do that, at the end of the day, it's just going to be another one on your shoulders, an additional responsibility for you and no responsibility for anybody else.
Yep.
And if you're just going to eat it up, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, and then that's the biggest thing right there for me is like, it has to somehow eventually, if we're serious about this though, and we're serious about making that change, it has to go up the chain. It has to go up that food,
Absolutely.
Because it can't just stop there. Like, lumper services, do those guys talk English? Are we stopping there? Who's warehousing it? Who's doing the pick and pack? Because all that eventually ended up in the truck. Like, how is it all just one person's responsibility?
Yes, and I think the biggest challenge here is I can already see, a lot of people who would be reacting to this video, right? We're gonna be focused now on those other drivers. But the problem is you are also a driver. You are in that group. But we created your little boogeyman. And now you're chasing that boogeyman, attacking him. But you are being in that same group like the people that you're attacking with. Because one thing that everybody starts talking about right now, like, oh, those, immigrant drivers killing Americans. I have one question. Is improper use of personal conveyance only unsafe if little Mexican does it?
No, it's unsafe in general, and then here you go. But that's what look, man. I've seen a lot of MVRs and PSPs in my career, man. Like, in just this week alone, and it's only Monday, and one of the worst PSPs I've seen, the guy's not even Spanish, man. So, like, that's what I'm saying. If we're gonna compare safety, put MVRs against MVRs and PSPs against PSPs. Like, that's real safety. If we started looking up those documents and comparing and yanking those licenses, like, just because he says, hey, I'm sorry about that rollover. Like, it's a safer rollover because he could talk about it.
Yeah. So, I guess so.
I don't know. There we go, guys. Be safe, drive safe.
Yeah, stop fucking being little bitches and just fucking be safe in general instead of fucking talking about it.
Yeah, or if you can't talk about it, then shut the fuck up about it. Owner-operator partnership is very real. I got tons of guys who are making $4,000 take-home. Learn how you can do that by giving me a call at 863-342-5171. We are conveniently located in Lakeland, Florida. We are a Florida-based trucking company that is here to provide you resources to be successful. So once again, it's 863-342-5171.